Hey guys, welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to set up our interior scene for the house we just created. Now, this is going to be an entirely different scene that we're going to load whenever we go into this door. So to do this, I'm just going to duplicate the overworld scene because I want to make sure I keep all my tile maps set up with all the layers and stuff. So I'm going to just duplicate this scene, and I will call it, maybe this is Martin's house. Just like that. And I want to make sure also I put these in their own folder. So I'll have a folder for scenes. And then I'll just put these both in there. Shift select both of those. Drag it into scenes. And for some reason by doing that, our roads have updated to show that they're now behind the grass. They're both in the same sorting layer, so they're just kind of fighting for it, I guess. They're both on background. So what I want to do is add a layer. We can have a layer just for roads. Since we don't have a decoration layer, in fact, let's add a decoration layer, and we'll add the roads onto the decoration layer. So if I go back into here and set roads to decoration, they're on top. But I want to make sure that decoration does not go above characters or foreground, just like that. And now back into Martin's house. It doesn't matter that it's messed up in here because we're not going to have roads in here anyway, so I could just delete that from Martin's house if I wanted to. It's fine. So I'm going to grab my eraser tool. I'm just going to erase everything on all these layers. And if I want to erase a lot of things, one thing I can do is I can just make a big brush over here by clicking and dragging, and then grabbing my eraser tool. And then I can just erase big chunks of the map. Just like that. Just from all the layers here. And then from the collision layer. Background. And then get rid of that door. So now I have an empty scene, but we also have our tile maps set up and ready to go. So let's create our interior scene here. I'm going to grab my brush tool. And again, we're going to work just with the black outside of the house. Like you see in a lot of standard RPG games, you go into the house and you just see the interior of the house. So to do this, we're going to have our little walls here. And let's make sure we're doing all this on our collision layer because the walls are going to be something we collide with. So bottom right, and then we'll just draw over a bit here. And then a bit more here. And then the bottom left. Same as the exterior house. And then for the side walls, we'll just use these little walls right here. I'll just drag up. Now you could also set up rule maps, rule tiles for this stuff, but it's not too important for this little bit. And then for the corners, you have these tiles. Just like that. And then for the back wall, you can do the same thing you did before. There you go. And now you have your interior wall set up. Now for the floors, we can add this to the background. What kind of floor would we have? Let's just grab some of this wood here right in the middle. And this will be our floor. There we go. And I also know I want my door to be right on the objects layer. I'm going to paint it right there. So if we exit, we run into that, then we'll go outside. That's the idea. And now in here, I can add a few things if I wanted to on the decoration layer or on the object layer. That'd make more sense. Let's add some actual objects into here. Let's make sure actually that we change our brush back to the default brush. And with this selected, we're going to add this to the objects layer. And I can just place a couple barrels in here. Just like that. Maybe a couple over here. I've got a couple crates. There we go. Pretty basic stuff. We'll also have some people in here, maybe a person we can talk to. But for now, this is what we'll have. Now, if we look in the game view, we see the blue outside that. That's not what we want. We want it to be black. So I'm going to go to the main camera, and I'm going to change this to be black. Just like that. And in this, we're seeing these lines here. Now, what you're supposed to do with this to avoid this bleeding of the textures, and the reason it's happening is on our sprite sheet and in our tile map, we're having a bit of a bleed over from this tile to this tile. So the right side of this tile is showing a bit of the left side of this tile. And it's just the nature of how these systems work. And you'll have this problem in any kind of system you're using that uses tile maps in this way. And the way you can fix it is by adding a couple pixel of extra space around your individual tiles in your sprite sheet. But in my case, I don't have the ability to add the sprite sheet because I didn't actually make the sprite sheet. So what I want to do is, a quick way to fix this is go back into my sprites, go to my sprite sheet here, and I can set the pixels per unit to be 63, just 1 pixel less per unit than the actual sheet is. And if I apply that, then it kind of fixes that bleed over. Now, it's just a bit of a band-aid, but if you actually have your own tiles and you're making your own sprite sheets, then definitely add a couple pixel border around each individual tile to avoid that bleed over. And it looks like what I want to do is actually add our corner tiles here. Let's grab this tile. Oh. Make sure we're back on the collision layer. Boom. And then boom. There we go, and that looks good. And also, keep in mind, since we have these tiles drawn on the collision layer, they automatically get the tile map collider added to it, and then they are composited together. They're all drawn together, so it's just one big collider, so it's very efficient. And you're not going to have any snagging happening if you're trying to walk up against these tiles. Pretty cool. So guys, that is it for this lesson. I will see you in the next one.